Hello my friends, in this video I'm gonna talk about a nerf for the executioner, also known as Pyramid Head. Technically this is not a nerf because this buff was only available on that public test build, and in my opinion this buff was amazing. Basically for the PTB, developers decided to buff the executioner, so his punishment of the damned attack, which is his secondary attack, he is able to shoot through walls, you know, like I shoot my cum shot inside of your mom. It inflicts Torment effect, which means that you don't even need to hook survivors even once in a match to win the game. You can hit those survivors with your secondary attack and you can straight up send them to cages, which sounds extremely powerful, and some of you might say that it's too overpowered, but after testing him, honestly, I think this change should have stayed in the game. But now developers are reversing this change and many people are happy about this, so this is a controversial change, but I'm gonna discuss it in this video. But before that, smack that subscribe button if you want me to stick my big penis up your dad's butthole. Okay, before I start talking why in my opinion developers should have kept this change for the executioner, let me read what the developers have to say about their decision to reverse this change. During the PTB we made a change which allowed the executioner's punishment of the damned attack to afflict Torment. The goal with this change was to give the killer more ways to consistently apply Torment on careful survivors who were able to avoid Torment trails. While this absolutely had the intended effects of spreading more Torment, we've also read some concerns regarding how this could be used to more effectively camp and tunnel. Since punishment of the damned can hit multiple survivors and unhook leaves both survivors ripe for unavoidable torment. Since it's not possible to take protection hits to prevent a survivor from being sent to the cage, we felt it was safer to reverse this change for the time being. It means that they might reconsider this change. We may revisit the executioner's torment in a future update with a different plan that better suits our goals. Actually, that's kind of exciting. Okay, let's talk about it. So it's not a secret that the executioner is not a bad killer by any means. In fact, I know that some people put him into the S tier before this buff, and personally I would put him into the A tier. I actually made a tier list video in the past, it's on this channel, you can watch it anytime. But the executioner is actually a very strong killer in the right hands. I remember when the executioner came out, I played him constantly, non-stop, and I would get 4 kills no matter what. I would destroy every single team. This killer feels overpowered when you know how to play as him. But after stopping playing with the Pyramid Head for 2 years, I tried this killer again now, and I didn't get no kills. This killer feels like shit. And it's because I lost my skill. This killer seriously requires skill, and in good hands it could be an S tier killer. Honestly, it depends on the person who plays the Pyramid Head. The problem is most Pyramid Head players, well, majority of players don't main this killer, okay? There are so many killers to main. Most people main something like the nurse, the huntress, or the twins. But Pyramid Head, you don't really find many people who main this killer. And most people who play as Pyramid Head, well, let's be honest, they play like shit, they miss all of their secondary attacks, and they lose most of the games. So it's very hard to find good Pyramid Head players, and it leads to other killers outperforming the executioner when it comes to statistics, especially how many kills these killers get. I believe that Pyramid Head is somewhere in the bottom because most people who play Pyramid Head play this killer with a casual mindset, not competitively, and their games, most of their games, don't lead to getting many kills. So I think that developers noticed that according to statistics, most of the killers in Dead by Daylight outperform outperform Pyramid Head when it comes to kill rates, and they reasonably decided to try buffing this killer, which is a bit concerning because, as I mentioned before, in the right hands this killer could easily be an S tier killer. But, and there's a big but, it's very hard to find these players who play Pyramid Head so good that it's even better than the nurse. It's very hard to find these players. I believe that there are a few players like that, but basically you will never play against them. So this change, this buff literally helps us, the majority, which is casual player base of Dead by Daylight, to enjoy such a competitive killer like Pyramid Head. And I do believe that even though Dead by Daylight is a casual game, this killer is quite competitive, and this change makes it more accessible to play Pyramid Head. It lowers the skill ceiling of this killer, which actually is a good change in my opinion. And another reason why I think they should have kept this change is that not only did it feel good to be such a powerful killer, even though I play like shit, but I believe that we need more strong killers in Dead by Daylight. It's been the same stale meta for like more than a year. There's the nurse in the S tier, there is the spirit in the S tier, and there's the blight in the S tier. That's it. 3 killers in the S tier. Some people say that there's only 2, the nurse and the blight. Some people say that the spirit is not that strong anymore. But I believe that it's time to see another killer in the S tier, and Pyramid Head could very well be that killer. And he's a strong killer already. I put him in the A tier, which is a very strong killer tier. But just put that cherry on top of a strong killer and it makes him a beast. And I believe it's very fun to go against these strong killers because it's Dead by Daylight. It's supposed to be thematically a horror game. I know it's very debatable. Many of you will say this is not a horror game. But technically it is a horror game. It's not even an argument. But the reason why they decided to revert this change is that there are a lot of people complaining about it, and the problem about their complaints is that most of these players would never play Pyramid Head. Most of complaining players are actually Survivor mains, and I already made a video in the past why this game is a Survivor-sided game. You can watch it, I won't repeat my points, definitely watch it. I will leave the link in the description down below because I make some good points in that video, but I believe this game is Survivor-sided game and survivors want to keep this game this way. Sometimes they even complain that this game is killer-sided game, which in my opinion is bullshit. And according to those Survivor mains, if this buff goes live, then it will increase camping and tunneling potential in Pyramid Head. So let me discuss this. Camping. I don't see how this buff would increase camping. In fact, when you inflict survivors with Torment and send them into the cage, that cage will spawn as far as possible from you, so you will never really know where that location is. So to camp that survivor, you have to perfectly guess where that cage spawns. You have to find that location, waste your time trying to find that location. Hopefully survivors haven't saved that one survivor from the cage, so you can safely come there, find it somehow, and then camp that survivor. I think it's stupid, and in fact this buff prevents Pyramid Head from camping as much as most people camp these days. So saying that this buff encourages Pyramid Head players to camp is complete bullshit in my opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong, but how is it possible to camp when a survivor that you send as far away as possible from you, like I don't know how to explain this, like I already explained it to you, like that's kind of stupid. On the other hand, tunneling, yeah, this buff actually would increase tunnelers in the game, but I don't think it's that concerning, considering that there are many tunnelers anyway, especially Pyramid Head tunnelers. Yeah, it would increase tunneling in a way because you can send a survivor into the cage and immediately tunnel after another survivor. It's self-explanatory, and yeah, this buff would increase tunneling, but not that much, I believe. I don't know, they should have experimented with this change more, because I don't believe that the number of tunnelers would be that crazy. Like, I see a lot of people complaining immediately, but they have not even tested this killer yet. So what are we talking about? Why are we talking about a buff that has been tested only theoretically? I played as this killer myself. I had a better time than playing prior to this buff, and honestly, I believe it should have stayed in the game. I respect your opinion if you think differently, but taking this buff away from us is like giving us a strawberry flavored lollipop. We lick it like and then they just say, fuck it, you're not getting to suck it anymore. And they just take their pants off and they're like, suck my big cock. And you're like, oh. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, guys. Anyway, comment your opinion. I think that they shouldn't have reverted this buff. It's still, like, Pyramid Head is still a strong killer. Pyramid Head is strong. It has never been weak. But I'm just disappointed a bit, especially after playing him. I thought I would start maybe to play him more often, but as it is right now, let's hope for some good changes coming to this killer, because developers clearly are working on something and hopefully it's good. Thank you for watching, don't forget to subscribe for more DBD videos, and I'll see you later. Bye.